What is up? Welcome to Drifting into Freedom. If you've seen my last video, you know that I have recently been laid off a few weeks ago. I ended up spending 10 years with that company that will forever change my life. So now that I've been laid off, I've been focusing heavily on my finances, especially since I no longer have a consistent income. It's given me some time to really dig into my finances. And I discovered that there was some extra money out there. And now that I have this break, I also discovered that I had some unpaid tolls, if you know what I mean. So if you're like me and you've been recently laid off, you might have some money out there that you just haven't discovered yet. So let's get to it, shall we? Please also note that I am no financial advisor. If you need financial assistance, make sure you look into hiring a financial advisor. This is all based on some of the things that I'm currently doing so that I can start planning for the future. So here are the top 5 things that I've been really focusing on. So the very first thing that you want to take a look at is your 401k. Because let's be honest, that's your bread and butter to your retirement, and you want to make sure your money is continuing to grow. Reviewing the 401k is very important, especially since this is almost like the ship that could potentially lead you to your ultimate financial freedom. Whether you plan on retiring or not, it's very important to take a look at this ASAP. Now, I did speak to a financial advisor because, again, I am in this process now that I'm laid off. So here are a few options that I was given regarding my 401k. Number 1, you can leave your 401k with your former employer's plan. Now, there are pros and cons to everything, so let's get into it. If you leave the funds in the account, obviously in this case, your funds will continue to grow tax deferred, meaning no immediate taxes. Now, there are some cons with this as well. Now, there is a possibility that you could lose access to the account once you are no longer an employee, or you may have limited access regarding your investment options. However, it also depends on your company, so this is something you want to talk to with them before you make any types of moves regarding this. Now, in this case, my former employer did give me the option to keep the actual 401k with them. So, you know, we'll talk about that later. So option number 2 is to roll over your 401k into a new employer. Option 2 is for someone who actually found a new job. Now this option you want to do immediately because you want to keep that money train flowing, if you know what I mean. Rolling over your 401k into the new employer allows you to consolidate your retirement accounts and maintain tax deferred status. Now there are some cons to this because if your employer does not offer a rollover plan from your previous employer, well, you may have limited options. So again, if your new employer offers this, you want to make sure you do this ASAP because you want your money to continue to compound. You don't want that money to sit on the sidelines. So if this is an option, you definitely want to take advantage of this right away. Option number 3 is to roll over an IRA into an individual retirement account. Now, this offers a broader range of investment options, flexibility, and keeps your funds growing tax deferred. Now, some of the cons regarding setting this option up would be the fees. But if the fees are fairly low, I say that this is a great option to look into. Option number 4. Cashing out your 401k. Now, although this provides immediate access to your funds, especially regarding a financial emergency, this may come with a heavy tax burden and possibly early withdrawal penalties if you are under the age of 59 and a half. So if you are under the age of 59 and a half, again, I don't know your situation, but this could have a really negative impact on your retirement in the future. So if you can avoid cashing out early, please do not cash out early because you want to make sure that you have enough money so that you don't have to go back into the workforce. As we can see, things are slowly changing and the workforce in the next decade may not be the same as it is now. So again, if you can avoid cashing out of your retirement early, I say please avoid it. Option number 5 is my favorite because of course we all want our tree to blossom into this big old income stream. Option number 5 is to convert a Roth IRA. Now the great thing about converting into a Roth IRA is that your future fund withdrawals can be tax-free, and the Roth IRA has no required minimum distributions. Now of course there are some cons to this. You'll also owe taxes on the converted amount, which could be huge, especially if you have a large balance. So please keep this in mind. Now, out of all of these 5 options, I ended up leaving my 401k with my former employer. Now, there's many reasons why I ended up doing that versus all of the other options. And one of the reasons why I actually kept it with my former employer is because the way my account is set up, it's actually in a self-directed account, which means I can trade out of Charles Schwab, which gives me options to trade stocks such as Tesla, Apple, Bitcoin ETF. So it just gives me more of a wider range versus me leaving it with my employer to trade in some crappy stock. Now, of course, somewhere down the road, I do plan on completely rolling it over into an IRA. This way I have complete control over that specific account. And another reason is because this is an election year. So I'm just gonna leave it there. Next on my list is a severance payout. So if you've recently separated from your company, you never know, maybe they may do some type of severance just to pay you out. There are a lot of companies that are doing that. So again, you may want to check with your former employer to see if this is an option. Also, something that I just discovered, if you have not taken any vacations this year, you might want to check with your former employer because you may have some money coming to you in regards to you not taking vacation. So that might be some more money that just hasn't been claimed. You know, in between the severance check and the vacation check, that could be additional money in your pocket. Next on our list is unemployment benefits. If you're looking for some money to at least keep you on your feet, unemployment is something you definitely want to take a look at. Hey, you worked, so go out there and claim that money. Now, I will say be careful with this because there are a lot of fake websites out there, a lot of scams. I was actually talking to an old coworker of mine and he was telling me that he applied for unemployment and his data ended up getting leaked. So I tell you, y'all, the world we live in, it's like the Wild Wild West. It makes no sense to me. Just be safe out there when you're clicking on these websites, because like I said, there's a lot of scams out there. Next on our list is Social Security. You can actually go on the Social Security website and you can actually track to see the estimate total of the amount that you will receive when you actually retire. So basically it takes the history from the moment you started working all the way up to the current time frame, and overall it gives you an estimate of how much money you will receive regarding Social Security. So next on our list is another thing you want to take a look at to see if there's some more money on the table, because again, you never know. And that's the pension. I actually had a friend who kept telling me, you need to call, you need to get with HR, you need to, find out if you do have this, because, a lot of companies have done away with the pension, which really sucks because, that money, that's extra money to help you sustain your life. So upon doing my research, I did discover that I have a pension, which is awesome because now some of the things that I'm taking in order to keep that pension growing is to roll over my pension into an IRA. I want to maximize my profits as much as I can. So by me taking my pension and rolling it over into an IRA, again, this gives me more options to trade stocks like Microsoft and Tesla and all of these big name companies, or just simply putting it into an index fund. So I decided to go with this option instead versus leaving the money with my former employer as it collects pennies. If I have more control over it, I can maximize that pension as much as I possibly could. So this is another option you can look into. Like I said, I'm in the process of doing that at the moment. So you want to make sure you have an idea of where everything is, have an order so that when it does come time for you to retire, you have enough money to the point where you don't run out. Because let me tell you, I know plenty of people who have retired and had to go back to work. And let's just say, no thank you. I don't want to do that, and I don't want you to be a victim of that too. Now, this is also something to pay attention to. Although I don't like to talk politics on my channel, no matter who is in the White House, this is an election year. If you plan on investing and you want to make a lot of money, let's just say 2025 is the year to do that. So you want to make sure that you are ready to start making your money. So what I found over the course of years, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you out there who trade, you know this, but during an election year is the best time to maximize your profit. Rather than us debating on who's a Democrat or a Republican, you need to make sure that you have an investment strategy in place. This way, this will allow you to maximize your returns throughout 2025. So you want to make sure that you review your retirement portfolio. You know, maybe there's some stocks that you need to trade out of and get into something that's going to give you maximized returns. So now is the time to prepare yourself versus waiting till we get into 2025. I would rather have my money go into overdrive, working hard for me, versus me having to do all the work. And so you want to make sure, again, that you're keeping an eye on your portfolio, preparing yourself so that you can maximize those returns, y'all. I want us all to win. And by doing this, we have to have a strategy so that we are well equipped. Because at the end of the day, I want us all to drift into freedom and live our best life. And we'll all get there when the time is right. But we got to make sure our house is in order before we can go out and, you know, live our best life, if you know what I mean. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel as we drift into freedom together. See you soon. I feel like I filled out hundreds and hundreds of job applications, but still no bite. Could it be a whole bunch of fake job postings out there? See you on the next video.